do a whole heck of a lot quickly. City services. Got to make sure that we're working with the business community, not creating barriers, as well as our residents. We've got to be customer-friendly, user-friendly, and if you walk into City Hall, I want you to feel like you're walking into the Apple store. I want to deliver everything online. I want every service available online, and I want to make sure that we are coming at you with the how are we going to get your problem solved today, how are we going to help you today attitude, because the fact is, when city government works that way, whether it's a resident trying to do a renovation on their home or a small business trying to get open, we're creating jobs and we're vesting people here in the city for the long run. When we make people wait and jump through hoops and all sorts of crazy bureaucracy, we really start to push people away.
There's been a pretty deep discussion around the Boston Redevelopment Authority, BRA. Talk to me about whether or not it should stay, it should go, should planning and development be together, separated? Where do you come down on that?
I think planning should be separated. We have to remove the conflict of interest. There's the inherent conflict of interest. Then we have to actually plan. And what we want to do is drive our development process from a smart plan. And a smart plan's got to think about three key pieces: respecting the character and integrity of our neighborhoods, how we create housing so that people who are poor can find a place to live here, and people who are in the middle can find a place to live here. We've never had an issue building a luxury condo in Boston, okay? And luxury condos are fine, but we've got to find a way to get everybody else to be able to live. And then the third part is how do we create jobs into the future? So but if we've got a smart plan on that, then we get into a development process that's transparent and driven from the plan and not based on who you know or if you know someone who can navigate the process better than other people. That's what we want to get out of. So we need more transparency in the BRA, better use of technology, separate planning, and have a real plan.
What are the qualities that you would look for in the CEO of the BRA?
Yep.
The person who's going to run the BRA, what are you looking for?
I want someone who's going to nurture the innovation economy here in Boston, work to make sure we keep creating jobs, particularly through the investments in the technology sector, but connect that to our main streets and local business districts and how we can create an ecosystem of getting locally owned businesses and small businesses to play a role in supporting our institutional economic engine and our growing tech sector here in Boston. We've got to connect the Main Street and Upham's Corner to the Innovation District and the Seaport. There's no reason the businesses there can't be servicing those growing tech businesses and create a real ecosystem. I want a BRA director who's going to embrace that and who's going to embrace a middle market housing strategy and how we connect that to a smart, affordable housing strategy.
Boston is a very vibrant city when you talk about the arts and you talk about culture, but as I think you alluded to a few moments ago, oftentimes in our schools, arts, music, are stripped away.
Yep.
Talk to me about where you come down on the cultural aspect of the city,
yep.
the artistic aspect of the city, and how you would further those respective components of the city so that more
yep.
people take advantage of it.
I really want to elevate the arts community and arts and culture to a cabinet level office and under the mayor. And right now we're arts and tourism. I think we ought to be arts and culture. And tourism can be a natural extension of that, but we really want to focus on a cultural agenda in the city and empower our arts community to really drive that agenda. I want Boston to have a unique signature when it comes to our arts community. We don't want to copy any other city, but we've got an arts community brimming with talent. We need to see more public art, more storefront, more pop-up galleries. We need to see more festivals, a greater celebration of this incredible community, and a bigger investment in it. $1 million a year right now in the City of Boston budget for arts. Chicago, Los Angeles start at $30 million. I think to invest more in the arts will be a great thing for the life of the city and for the residents of the city. It will also create an awful lot of jobs, and we ought to make that investment.
Speaking of creating jobs, where do you come down on getting more people into the trades? When I was a kid growing up in New York City, we had the academic schools, but we also had the trade schools. And a lot of folks would go into the trades that didn't necessarily want to go to college, but they were able to secure good-paying jobs that they can take care of their families. Where do you come down on the trades and getting more people into the trades?
Right. So I have a proposal called Hubs of Opportunity, and it's focused on how we would revamp our high schools, particularly our non-exam high schools in Boston. I would put in each high school 3 partnerships. Partnership with a college or university, a partnership with an institution or private sector business, and a partnership with a trade union or community-based organization. And within each high school, they would use those partnerships to tap into the professional talent at the various partners, the facilities, and get some financial resources as well to design programs geared towards certain industries. And within each high school, we'd have a minimum of one vocational program that we could put our young people on to go toward a high-skill, high-wage job in today's economy. Madison Park has to be revamped entirely. We've got to do so much work there. I think it's finally sort of heading in the right direction, but it's taken far too long. But one key point here is we should not warehouse all of our voc ed programs in one place. We want to make sure as many young people in Boston can access quality voc ed programs as possible, or career technical programs as possible. So let's get at least one program in every high school and tie many of those partnerships to the trade unions.
Talk to me about STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. How important is that to the city, and how important is that to the kids coming through the education system?
Vitally important. And again, all of this is about connecting all those pieces of Boston together, so we can have this incredible array of tech companies doing amazing work down in the Innovation District and in other parts of the city. We can be the hot spot for all these companies to come, but if it's not connected to a 12-year-old going into the Dearborn school, you know, what good is it really for all of Boston? So I think we've got to connect all of these institutional resources that we have across this city better to our schools to open up real quality STEM education for every young person. But we've got to make that. We're a tech city. We need to be invested in producing engineers and scientists. But one other piece on it, I want to change STEM to STEAM, and we've got to get the arts in there. And the arts will make you a better technical learner, but also we've got to open up our whole mind for our children and make sure that it's the arts as well as science, technology, engineering, and math, and it will complement each other well. And there are a lot of careers now that link the two. Software design, graphic design, that's the combination of arts, science, and math.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Let me ask you this, John. Going forward, Boston is a great city. Boston has been able to stay away from some of the pitfalls that have gone around in Detroit or Cleveland. How do you keep that going forward so that we don't fall into that abyss and that we stay a vibrant, strong city?
I think listening is where it starts, and we've got to make sure we listen to the voices in our neighborhoods. I think we need a mayor who's going to listen very carefully, incorporate the community voice into everything from development to our schools to safety. How are we including everyone in a city that's incredibly diverse and strengthened by that diversity? But I think that's one key area to how we maintain the high quality of life that most of us have had, thanks to Mayor Menino's leadership. And then how do we extend it so that it's not just a case where many have a high quality of life, but a good number don't. So that's the big challenge there. But I would say, again, our future starts with our schools. If we want to make sure that Boston remains on a great trajectory and continues to thrive for most, we need to invest in our schools and get the job done right. And the mission has to be for Boston to work for everyone.
Okay, so we've got about a minute and a half left. What I want you to do is look into that camera over there and talk to the people at home and tell them why they should consider giving you their vote to be the next mayor of Boston.
Thanks, Sheriff. I appreciate you having me on. I'm John Connolly. I'm running for mayor of Boston. I'm a former teacher, a Boston Public School parent, and chair of the City Council's Committee on Education. I'm running to transform our Boston Public Schools and make sure every student can get a high-quality education. I'm running to work to make sure that every resident can live in a safe and healthy neighborhood, and that we end the dynamic where 80% of the violent crime happens in just 3 neighborhoods. I'm running to make sure we stay competitive and keep creating jobs and make sure that those jobs are connected to economic opportunity for every resident of the city. And finally, I'm running to make sure that we have an inclusive, transparent city government, and that when you access city services, you feel like you're walking into the Apple Store. Our future starts with our schools. I've been a bold leader for our children. I've worked to get the expired food out of the classroom, and I've been the only voice fighting to reform our teachers' contract so every child can have art, music, science, humanities, and physical education on a regular basis. I'll be a mayor who will work for everyone, but I recognize at the end of the day, if we want safer streets, we need better schools. If we want a stronger economy, we need better schools. I'm John Connolly. I hope you'll consider me and give me a vote, and you can learn more at connollyforboston.com. Sheriff, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate
Appreciate it.
having you on here. All right, folks, that's it. That's all 12. You've heard them all. We're actually going to do some editing on some of these packages, and you'll be able to go on our website. And if you want to hear all about education or public safety, housing, the BRA, we're going to make that available, and we'll let you know when that's coming out. We're out of time. We're out of here. We'll be back again next week. Until then, you take care of yourself. Peace.